Welcome back, Goat Rodeo Archery community. Here with Goat and Jason Stewart of the Appalachian Bow Hunter Challenge. Jason goes way back with Goat and I, and we're just thrilled to have him on after his first event, which was epic. I did not tell you guys, by the way, I spent my afternoon spending my gift cards at Stone Glacier, Cabela's, and Sportsman's Warehouse. So I've got Christmas coming next week. So super excited of all the stuff I was able to bring home from there. That you had a tremendous prize table, but that is just the tip of the iceberg. We had a great time. So let's go back to where we met Stewie.
Yeah. Do you remember Stewie?
I don't know, Chad. It seems like you've always been part of my life, dude. You know,
No.
I can't really go back to like when we exactly met, but I might be wrong about this, but I think we were doing was it like Alpha Bow Hunter? Something in Pennsylvania, I think.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Okay. Yeah, we did that together. And then did we all go to Denver for nationals?
We did.
Okay, yeah. So we met in a competitive environment. You know, we were when I first met you guys, you were my competition. You know, I mean, yeah, like cool dudes and all, but man, I hope they suck because you know they're in my division. But unfortunately, they did not suck. In fact, they were freaking awesome. And even though Chris, I might be wrong about this, but I think you were like just starting to shoot, like you were just learning.
That was my very first competition. Right? Yeah. Yeah,
dude, way to jump in with both feet, man. Way to jump into freaking, you know, people are, you know, worried about, you know, going out to the park and shooting a 3D tournament. You're like, nah, I'm good. Let's go ahead and amp it up a notch.
There was a lot at Goat's house before that. I remember the first time he told me about these because I guess you guys had done like Train to Hunt, like all kinds of stuff.
I don't know if I ever did.
What was some of the other? What were? Because you did some of the other big ones, Beast Mode. I think you had some experience, but I remember when Goat told me about like Train to Hunt and these competitions, I was like, no friggin' way. So there was a lot of persuading before I showed up scared to death to compete against you guys there in Pittsburgh. So.
Yeah. Well, you certainly did well for yourself then. And unfortunately, you've gotten better every year, which, you know, kind of sucks for me and Chad. But so I'll just point out to your audience there that you are the defending men's 50 and over champion for the Appalachian Bow Hunter Challenge.
Yep.
And I will say that no one has ever won it 2 years in a row. So hey, pressure's on, man.
I'll be there, man. I'll be there.
Excellent. Excellent.
You know,
excellent.
What's really scary? Rodeo and I did a competition called the Barbarian Games. And
that was
they
intense.
would only group you by ages, and so we were in the over 100 club.
The seasoned warrior division.
Yeah, right on. Oh, that's a good name. I may steal that. I was going to go with like masters and super masters, but I like warriors and seasoned warriors even better. Yeah.
We're like, hey, come on, we want to compete against the young guys. They're going to push us, and they're like, no, it's by age. Well. All right, you're lost. We would have won.
Yeah. But no, so that's where I met you guys, and we kind of hit it off, right from the bat, and then we started shooting the TAC events in Pennsylvania. We shot those together, and then just kind of compared, sob stories from our elk hunting, successes and failures, and compared notes there, and we just kind of stayed in touch, over the years, and you guys put together your Goat Rodeo archery event, and I don't want to jump ahead in the script here, but if you didn't notice, I stole a lot of stuff from you guys, a lot of your concepts, a lot of your I don't know, well, definitely your sense of community. I really wanted to copy that over to the Appalachian Bow Hunter Challenge. So, I don't want to get too far ahead.
It was there. No, you did a great job of that, and that was the one thing I think we everything we had, like, we stole from Phil, right? And with No Limits Archery.
But you improve it a little bit, like,
right.
Yeah, Phil kind of laid the base work for us. Phil and the Train to Hunt stuff, those guys laid the base work, but I really think we have improved on it.
Yeah, we never begrudge anybody, because Phil was always very like I'm surprised when he would pick up the phone when on call and I'd ask him about, can we, use your concepts? And he's offering to send us things, just
Wow.
He's an amazing guy. And then Bill started doing the, Keystone Elk Alliance. And so we got to participate in that. Now, as a participant, you can step back and say, well, this is what I liked. And this is what I didn't like. Here's what would have appealed to me, kind of a thing. So we were able, and you're the benefit of that as well. You're like, well, let me just participate in these events, and then what is possible? How would I do it? How would my friends want to enjoy this? Yeah. So you did. I mean, I was amazed at like just on your first year, how many people you had like show up, and you pulled guys out of Georgia, North Carolina, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Ohio,
well, that
Virginia.
is good and bad. The bad part about that is I personally knew like 85% of you guys. So,
That's okay.
I was pulling on a lot of personal connections there, which there's nothing wrong with that. But part of what you're trying to do and part of what I'm trying to do is kind of expose a new group of people to this. And man, it's hard. It is hard to describe to people what we're doing and to bring them in and get them to to participate. But the way to do that, I think, is just like you guys have done. Bring your people in, treat them right, and count on word of mouth to spread this thing. So that was one of the core tenets of what I tried to do with the Appalachian Bowhunter Challenge. I tried to bring people in. I tried to treat them like they were at the Goat Rodeo. What is the actual name? Goat Rodeo Archery Challenge, Goat Rodeo Shoot.
Sure.
The Goat Rodeo Archery Challenge.
Yeah. All right. The Goat Rodeo thing. I really tried to carry that sense of community forward. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think it worked. I think it paid off. I think, and I say that because that has been the feedback that I got. I was on another podcast like 24 hours ago with some guys from North Carolina, and their biggest takeaway from my event was that, man, I cannot believe that the community accepted me the way that they did. I shot, and the guy told me, he's like, I shot the 3D round with a guy I had never met before. We're out there shooting bows for 3 hours. We didn't talk about bows. We didn't talk about archery. We didn't talk about hunting, not once.
Wow.
And we just talked, the whole time. And now they're buddies. And
that's
dude,
awesome.
that is exactly what I wanted. That is exactly what I wanted. And I copied that from you guys. They're really, stressing the sense of community.
Yeah.
There are 3D shoots every weekend. That's not what I want. I don't want to have just some 3D shoot. I want to carve out a little moment in space time where things are a little different, right? And we create this experience, and it means stuff to people. And sorry if the Woodford Reserve is already talking to me there, but I'm passionate about this. I want it to hit home.
Yeah.
I saw a jar of simple syrup today that actually had glitter in it. So like if you were to use it to mix something up in a glass, you would see swirls and stuff. I'm like, all right, first off, that'd be kind of cool. Second, is it good to drink glitter? Anyway, we are not finding out. So one of the struggles that we have, like every event that we participated in, whether it's Corey's, day 80 challenge, which was, more Bible study, kind of like interaction with guys, whether it's Goat Rodeo, whether it's Appalachian, it's like, how do you maintain the community like between events, right? Because some guys only do email, some guys only do text, some guys only do Facebook, right? And or others do GroupMe or some other communication tool. And you really want to keep that community going, even though you have distant guys. So we have, Ryan came down out of Ohio. I'd love to stay in touch with him, but he's, 5 hours away, right? Yeah. Lucas is down in like Frederick, right? We're below Frederick, I believe. It's like midway between us. And it's just, it's so difficult to, get to see these guys. The only thing you have is some sort of, like we're doing now, right? Conversation.
Yeah.
But how do you do that as a group?
Right.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know. But on the other hand, I think what makes it so special is that we don't get to do it all the time. We only get to do this once a year, maybe twice a year. So that makes your time together that much more precious. we choose to do these things. We choose to travel these long distances, and we choose to, we commit ourselves to these, weekends, throughout the, once a year. And to me, that, I don't know, that, yeah, we don't get to spend a lot of time together, but the time we do spend together is pretty important.
Yeah. And we have
what you just said was really painful and honest in a way, because like we as a society generally in 2026, we want to help everybody, right? We want to give everybody like an avenue for healing or an avenue for whatever. And in Men's Alliance, we always talk about isolation being terminal. But I will see guys that show up that don't want to engage or don't engage, right? It's kind of like, I'm going to be here. I'm going to go to the archery challenge, and I just expect that I'm going to be welcomed in and I'm going to be this amazing part of your community. And it's like, it takes a little bit, right? You have to be willing to talk to somebody, right? To respond to a question, to ask a question, to engage, right? And there are guys that just, I don't know what it is, right? Is it imposter syndrome? Is it fear? Like they don't understand that they have to pour into somebody else in order, to get that pouring back into you, right? You hate the cliches. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. You're like, this is the dumbest thing in the world. And you're like, well, except for it's right. Like, it actually makes sense, right? And man, that's like that's the struggle, right? That for me at least, and I don't know about you guys, but do you feel like in your past you missed out on a lot because you didn't engage?
I don't feel like I missed out. I feel like the time wasn't right. I think that, I don't know, the person I am now is not the person I was 10 years ago. And I think I'm in a position now to project out into the universe the positivity that I want to get back. 10, 15 years ago, it wasn't all that, positive, of a person. So any energy and any pouring out that I would have committed to, maybe I'm pouring sour milk, right? Maybe I'm not pouring the good stuff. Now, not saying I got it all figured out by any means. However, after spending time around, cats like you, I'm kind of picking up the positivity vibe, so to speak. Like, I don't know, it's like I'm kind of tuning into the things that I want to project, and then that hopefully the universe sends back to me.
Yeah. Good. And I think
what are your thoughts on that, Rodeo?
Sorry. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, your video is a little choppy, but I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I'm in my basement. One of the things that I love about Stewie's event is that we're all trapped on the mountain together. And in hindsight, like, once that camping, we had already booked our mountain lodge or whatever, and then camping became available. But either way, we were all kind of stuck on that mountain together. And man, there's something special about that. That is like one of the elements that we just can't create at the Goat Rodeo. Now we have the fortunate advantage of Men's Alliance, where, we get to keep our kind of core group somewhat together and do local shoots and things throughout the year. But man, there's something special about being on the mountain together. And I think it kind of connects to all of us on that deeper level of when we're actually on the mountain together. So just talk a little bit about that and what Winter Place allowed you to do.
Oh man, I can't say enough good things about Winter Place. For one, just like you said, we had 375 acres all to ourselves, not another soul. How weird is that? And we had a gate. We could have locked the gates if we wanted to and kept, we couldn't even have spectators if we wanted to, but we didn't take it that far. But yeah, Winter Place gave us an incredible venue in which to hold this event. We had committed to a certain financial contribution to Winter Place in exchange for this. After they saw the community that we created, they waived it. They said, "You guys have performed, just the event that you put on, the kind of community you're creating, the vibe that you put out. We want more of that. So you don't have to pay. You don't owe us a dime." Now
That's
the
amazing.
venue that we were at, I mean, that is a 500 person, building. It's a $4,000 rental.
Wow.
Not a penny. They didn't charge us a penny for that. They didn't want any money from our registration fees. So just that was incredible. And it surprised me how much of that I saw after the event. The West Virginia Bow Hunting Association was a big part of our event, and we had committed to pay them a certain amount for renting their targets. After seeing the event, after hanging out with you guys, they said, keep it. We don't want a dime. Just keep doing this. So man,
that's awesome.
That type of encouragement means a lot to me. So yeah, we're I don't know if we've officially announced it or not, but yeah, we're doing it again in 2027. In fact, I just spent all day today with our 2026 champion, Hamid Talabin. We were up at the Archer's Edge with him all day, getting his bow dialed in. And Archer's Edge re-upped. They said, man, we love what you did. We're in again. So we're giving away a 2027 Matthews, whatever their flagship bow is next year.
Sweet.
We're doing it again. Yeah. So, but yeah, that, and that was a comment that Hamid made earlier today. He's like, man, it was so cool that we were all kind of like isolated. We were on the mountain together. It was just us. And that contributed to that feeling of, carving out that space and that time for just us to do this special thing without any, outside kind of noise coming in. So yeah, it was great. Now we didn't have all the food trucks and the awesome 3D, course like you guys got at Goat Rodeo, but we made do with what we had.
Yeah.
Do you think you could order less wind maybe for next year?
I think I'm going to pay extra to have Winter Place turn off the wind machines. I forgot that. So all the fans were on and running. So that's why
that's what it was.
Just kidding. Yeah. That
was something
brutal.
else.
I felt so bad for you guys for having to shoot in that. I'm glad I wasn't competing.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
To me, that's part of it, right? You have to be able to adapt.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly.
No matter what. So there's a good
Exactly.
addition on your behalf to actually let the wind machines on. So appreciate that.
How about the snow machines too? We kicked those on at the end. Did you catch that?
I did.
I know. I missed it.
Yeah.
It was snowing Saturday.
Snow.
Yeah.
No.
It snowed and then all the clouds went away and it got warm for like 30 minutes. So, I mean, I know you're joking, but I do want to kind of ask you guys, what did you think of the difficulty level of this event? Was it too hard? Was it too easy? And I tried to allude to that during the kind of the pre-race speech. Some of you badass elk hunters, and I was pointing at you guys when I said that, are not going to be challenged right here. And you freaking weren't. You ran it in like 40 minutes. I wanted to punch you guys. Some of the other guys, the like normal humans were out there, 50 minutes, an hour, hour 5. Do you feel like, so you being on like one end of the spectrum, was it too easy?
No, I loved what you said. That go faster.
Yeah, tough guy. Right. Yeah, if it's too easy, go faster.
Right. But, if you're not puking, you're not trying. It's such a the problem is we deal with such a small niche of people that want to do this, right? So you look at what Brian does with beast mode archery, right? I love it, and like your endurance events and stuff like that. Like you got the same 20, 30 guys that'll travel around the country. To participate in that because that's their jam, that's their CrossFit games, their Spartan race, whatever it is. They get to work out hard and heavy with the bow and shoot. Then you get other guys that are, they're maybe starting a little late in their fitness journey, right? Mm-hmm. They're like, they hit that place where they're starting to become diabetic, or they're watching their friends die off. They realize that they can't get out and hunt the way they wanted to. And they need to get into it. How do you? And
those, not to interrupt you, man, but those were the guys I was trying to talk to. Those were the guys I was trying to bring into this thing. So, and hopefully it wasn't too hard to discourage those guys. So it had to be a balance with the broad net we were trying to cast. And I'm just really interested in feedback from all parties to see if it was close to where it should be.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, honestly, for the crowd that you attracted, that was just about perfect.
About right. Okay.
Because great. It wasn't. I don't know if you've ever done those ski race or the ski slope races where they're just like, okay, you run straight up the mountain, you run straight down, you run straight up, down a bunch of times, and that gets old really quick. This the course was perfect. How you had several rises and falls, gradual up. You had one steep downhill, one steep uphill, but pretty much doable by everybody.
Thank you. Yeah, I was looking for survivable, I think was the word that I used to describe it. Like you can roll off the couch and survive this.
Yeah.
However, it's like everything else in life. The more effort you put into it, the better you're going to do, the better time you're going to have. So, yeah, so I think that next year we may run it back exact same course. And, a lot of, you mentioned, beast mode. Beast mode changes their course up every year, which is fine. It doesn't bother me. But what I want is, again, talking to those first timers, those guys who are, on the cusp of diabetes, those older guys, I want them to be able to measure their improvement. I want them to be able to look and say, oh man, last year it took me an hour and a half. This year, holy geez, I did it in 58 minutes. That's important, and if you change the course up, then you can't do that. So what I'm hearing from you guys, I think we're going to run it back pretty much as is.
We had one guy that went to TAC with us a bunch of times, and he had been invited to come out and work out with us a bunch, and he just never would. And then the 1 year he couldn't finish. I think it was the knock-on course.
Yeah,
and that's what he needed. When he saw the rest of us kind of cruise through, the second half, he's like, next year, I'm finishing this freaking course with you guys, right? And he's been working out consistently since then. But I thought your pack weight was like really is on point too. That 25 pounds for everybody.
Okay, that was my next question.
Yeah, because if you go with like a 60-pound pack or something like that, then you really start to. You're requiring now for people to have a really good pack. First off, and to be in some pretty decent shape, for that. So
and guys like you and I realize that 25 pounds ain't really like. That's not really, indicative of what you're going to be doing on a real Western hunt. 25 pounds is nothing. But just like you said, to have a pack to carry 60 pounds, you got to put $500 into it. And I didn't want to isolate those guys that don't have that equipment. So but no, thank you for pointing that out, man. That was the next question. So I think we'll probably keep that the same too. But I did have and we're kind of getting into the weeds here, but what do you think like the difference is between 25 pounds in a pack versus 25 pounds in a weighted vest?
How old are you? So I would tell you that like a vest is really good because it holds tight to your body. There's no shifting. There's no, there's no movement there. But for me, that like as I'm getting older, the arthritis in my back does not appreciate having weight on my shoulders, coming down. And so I would be able to do it. And then, like for the next couple of weeks, I would hate you. So for that, I will cinch that belt tight and keep it around my waist. And my shoulder straps will be fairly loose. So like you'll see that pack flying everywhere. So the weight is then balanced at a lower level. So
well, I guess my question was, is it a competitive advantage one way or the other? Do you think?
Is it, I should probably go out and try it because to me, it's top heavy, right? So your center of balance, your center of gravity is off. So
the vest or the pack?
With a vest, because now if you're wearing your pack improperly, your center of balance is off too. If you got your shoulder straps too tight, but if you got it really cinched around your waist, your center of gravity is really low. It's going to help you out, like when the downhill is in that uneven terrain, right? Whereas a vest is going to be riding like a foot higher. Not much. It's probably not as much stress though on your shoulder if you go to shoot, with a vest coming across that. Again, that's why I'm thinking I might have to try this just to see if there's an advantage to it. I do think, like gear wise, saying everybody needs to have a pack kind of eliminates any question about that, which might be the more important aspect of it. Like, what is the perspective of other people versus actual functional advantage?
Yeah. Okay.
But again, there's other
apologies if I'm hijacking the conversation here.
I know we're getting into
areas that probably only the three of us really think about. Like all the event directors, or 3/5 of all the event directors I know are on this call. and there's only like 2 others in the world. So don't, I don't want to, I don't want to like kind of,
well, it gives people
leave
an
your
insight
audience out in
into
the
the
dark.
nasty stuff that we have to think
The
about.
stupid little crap we worry about. And the other thing that I worried about that was really stupid was exactly how many minutes does it take to run a head-to-head round and reset the course and get the next one running.
Right.
So 5 minutes is what I came up with. I could do it in 4 minutes and 45 seconds, but I needed another volunteer.
Right.
And one of my volunteers cut out like the day before. So we made do with what we had. But,
you had me scared in the morning with the double elimination. I thought, this isn't going to work.
Well, I mean, and I know some guys were standing around a long time, but hey, we ran challenge and it was beautiful. I don't know if you guys I think you guys use challenge.
Yeah,
yours
we
or
do.
no? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a great tool. I hope they don't start charging a lot of money for it.
Yeah.
But when you ran, I noticed that your V was tight, right? So that might have helped a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you went to the Sweet 16 and you went to single elimination, right? Then we started to see that pace pick up. So I mean, it was like beautifully perfect timing on your part.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. I spent more time, on that than any other aspect of the event. And my wife, God bless my wife, she's a the PhD and loves numbers and Excel. So she built all the scoring spreadsheets and ran statistics on every shot. And like, you can't give a PhD that data set and expect to get just like something back really quick. She's got to dive into it. Well, the T-square says that this was first, second, and third.
It's amazing.
First, second, third. That's all I need. So if you guys, I mean, I've got a chi-square analysis on the shot distribution for first arrow versus third arrow. If anybody wants to see it,
that's awesome. You need to bring her with you.
We found so I'm sorry if I'm hijacking this, but she is trying to come, if nothing else, just to repay Amber Kepler for. Oh my God, is Kepler her last name, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But Amber was crucial to our success. Holy crap. She jumped in Saturday morning when we were doing breakfast. And my brain is locked into head to head. I'm building these brackets and making sure everything's good. I see Katrina running back and forth. I'm like, you're supposed to be cooking. And she goes, Amber's cooking. She's got kitchen experience. And keeps running. I'm like, okay, I don't know who Amber is, but sounds great. And then I turn around and there's just like a buffet full of eggs and sausage. And I'm like, where did that come from? And Amber's like twirling the spatulas around and doing all this cool stuff. I'm like, God, bless. Yeah. I got a ninja on the grill. So
we had a little
that was
incredible.
Okay.
Flip a sausage in your mouth.
Yeah. No, but that was part of the Goat Rodeo strength that you guys rolled with. So again,
we found that volunteers are the reason you succeed. You know what I mean?
Yes. Or fail.
Like you were saying, like Big Truck doesn't charge us for that 3D course at all, which is an amazing add-on, right?
Yeah.
But then he lets us buy discounted beer. But we have people that come down and show up on Friday night for the event challenge. We need so many people on those event challenges. Just because it's so spread out and you have so many moving parts that are happening. Yeah. And during our head-to-head, the kids that come that love to run and pull arrows, right? And
get on it, boys.
The people that love to be in charge and run stopwatches and yell at people, oh man. You find those people that like to be bossy and you're a timer.
Just play into their strengths.
Play their strength. All we have to do is write down scores and kind of make sure everything is running smoothly. So if we didn't have volunteers, it would not be half of the event that it is.
No, you couldn't do it.
We can't do it.
You simply couldn't do it. Yeah, you couldn't do the number of things that we do. You couldn't run the number of people through these events. It would just be impossible, man. Impossible.
Right.
And I was so blessed to have a really strong core of volunteers. My friend Travis and his wife Raquel, they put on a huge event every July. They put on a big gravel bike race.
Oh,
and they got 500 people from different continents coming into this thing, so they know how to run a good event. And they're the kind of people that you don't have to tell them like, hey, go pick that bucket up. they go pick up that bucket and 17 other ones, and then the bag of garbage, and then they go cook the burgers, and then just you can't overstate how incredibly important these people are.
Yeah. Even at the end of the head-to-head, Khabib wins. Everybody's heading in to start number crunching. Like, I was amazed at like at least 10 people just came out and started tearing things down.
Unprompted. Unprompted, right. Man. Like, that did not come from me. That was just that was you guys and the community that we created, I think. Yeah. And that saved me, man. Because Sunday I was spent. I was just spent, and woke up, and so I stayed in the condo that night, slept in a little bit, drove down to the venue, and I'm like, where the hell's all the stuff? Where's all the trash? Where's all the targets? And I think I was moved enough to do like a Facebook Live video, and I've only done like one in my life. And I just said, look, this is Jason coming to you from Winter Place. This place is cleaner than we found it. And that was completely unprompted. That was Goat Rodeo. Yeah, that was some of the other competitors who jumped in, and just proud of you guys, man.
I want to apologize for setting off my car alarm Sunday morning. That was me.
I heard that was you. Oh my god! Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we were gonna run the course Sunday morning. We were gonna head back out and do another. We were gonna run the course again Sunday morning, do a lap.
Yeah.
And we wake up, like 6:37, and Lucas is gone, and I'm like, wait a minute. Maybe he was worried we were serious.
Yeah. Well, you could have left your condo. Your condo was right on the course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have just walked across the parking lot and made a left.
Yeah.
And been right in the thick
done the
of
lap right from there. So
Lucas just like dominated and took off, huh?
He was not feeling well. I'm excited to see what he does next year.
He
threw up twice that weekend.
Yes, he did. God bless him, man. That was I said this on the podcast. Like, I know I've done my job as a race, an event director. When one of the competitors goes blah, and he gives you the thumbs up right after that,
let's go.
That is very fulfilling to an event director.
Absolutely.
So, now that it's in your rear view a little bit, what would you change or do differently or add next year?
Oh man, I got a list. We're going to get a better scale. For one, our scale will actually work. Yeah, so sorry about that.
Just batteries.
Yeah, well, no, we're going to get a better scale and a tripod to hang it with. I am going to distribute our funds a little differently. We are not going to have to spend money on as much advertising. We won't have to spend as much money on a bunch of the first time stuff, all those banners, all that cool stuff that you guys, were competing in, all costs money, right?
Yeah.
So everything that's like, everything that's ABC, branded, I don't have to buy it again. We've already bought it. So we'll spend more money on prizes, food, and beer. Actually, less money on beer, and I'm kind of upset with you guys because I had to load a bunch of freaking beer back into the van, and that was not part of the plan. You people were supposed to drink all of it.
We drank all the good beer.
You failed.
The ones that were for you.
That is that is a change. We're going to have better beer. Yeah, because I was trying to keep it like really low alcohol, mass quantities.
Good
stuff.
move.
But no, the only good beer that was part of that event was supposed to be mine. Kenny Hollingsworth's wife remembered from Denver that I loved IPAs. So there's a little local brewery down in, outside of wherever they live in North Carolina that makes an incredible IPA. And she and I had talked about it, and she brought me 8 of them. And I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Thank you. I'm not going to drink anything while the event's going on, obviously, because all you people are my responsibility. However, Saturday night, we're going to tear into these things. So I put them all on. I messed up. I put them on ice, like in the community coolers. And, I'm walking around doing my thing. And here goes, John and Lisa Messner, like just killing, my $12 IPAs. Like,
hey, I was very impressed. I was like, Stewie bought great beer. This is amazing.
Next time, we will have real beer next time. Yeah, I'm so sorry. It was crappy, but hey, if that's the biggest failure that we had was quality of the alcohol, then we did pretty well. But no, that's a great question, Chad. There are some scoring issues I'm going to fix. I'm super happy that, and I think I talked to you guys about it. This is an archery event. This is not a cross country race. This is not a, who's the fastest kid in the world contest. So, as we discussed, if you win your 3D class, you get 3 minutes off, and you get 2 minutes off if you're second, 1 minute for third. I never communicated that to the wife. So, and she was the one in charge of scoring. So there at the end, she gave me, here's first, second, third, and my migraine addled brain was trying to do the math to knock off the 3D bonuses, and I screwed up the men's under 40 division. But I called Luke immediately and said, "Look, man, you finished third. I'm so sorry. I've got an extra third place medal," so I sent it to him. Yeah, but I messed that up, but that will be baked into the rest of the spreadsheets going forward. So anything that my fingers don't touch is good. So we'll fix all that going into it ahead of time. That's really about it, man. From talking to you guys, it seems like the difficulty was pretty much, where it needed to be. I heard a lot of good stuff about the 3D course. I think people enjoyed that.
That got me. You saw my score. Like normally that's not my my Achilles heel. But you got me on a couple of them. Like I started with the 2 in 12. I'm like, wait. 2 in 12. Like that was my first target.
That's
no rangefinder and 2 in 12. I was like,
welcome to West Virginia.
Yeah, man. That 3D course
so that's
was
another
good.
thing where we were supposed to have a couple of more volunteers that were going to be out there kind of walking people through the special shots. And the 2 in 12, the 12-second starts after you release your first arrow. Yeah. So hopefully most people got that right. I know some people were like, they would start 12 seconds as soon as they would draw, and ooh, man, that's tough.
I don't think you can do that.
Clarification.
Yeah. Little things like that, man. We'll fix that. But I think the bones of the event are pretty solid, and we can, we can tweak a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
Would you consider moving?
Oh,
okay. Would you consider moving into a third day, like Sunday morning?
No. I like giving people the option to leave Saturday night. I like giving people that option to Sunday is yours. Sunday you can drive home. Sunday is your return to reality. And I take that from Ragnar. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Ragnar Trail Race series, but I followed kind of the same schedule that they do. And I've always appreciated having everything is wrapped up Saturday. And to me, that was pretty important. I know you guys stretch it into Sunday. You just have more energy than I do, I guess. Because I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy to wrap it up Saturday and have that way. Saturday is like the blowout party, right? You don't have to compete Sunday. Nobody's got to put their boots on. You don't have to do anything. And that it didn't really turn into that at our event. I think everyone left Saturday evening actually, which is great. I mean, if people choose to do that, that's fine. But no, I'm pretty happy with having it a Friday, Saturday event.
Right. It's one we struggle with. It's like if you're on one hand, we ask people to give us a weekend of their time. And so we want to make sure that there's something for them to do at any point in time. But then to back off and say, well, I need to give you community. I need to give you part of your weekend back. I don't know where the scales will ever fall. I don't know if there's a way to judge it right or wrong.
Yeah. We just got to go with what feels right. And, I'm basing mine, based on my years of racing experience. And I know how I feel at the end of a big event. And if I can be finished competing and then have a night to sleep and then wake up and drive home, I like that, as opposed to gutting myself, laying it all on the line at 11 a.m. on Sunday. And then, there's nowhere to shower, right? So I got to jump in the truck.
Yeah, that's true.
I got to drive back to West by God, Virginia. I just got my butt kicked by freaking Chris Martin for the third time. And now I got to drive all the way back to West Virginia, reeking of defeat and sweat.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, when the tears come down, they just kind of wash it away.
I like
it's been the opposite way a whole lot more than Jason is letting on. I've wanted to rip off my second place medal to him plenty of times.
Hey, I think you and I have got there could be like a biopic about, our competitions over the years, like, the last minute come from behinds and the struggles and but yeah, no, it's been wonderful, man. I wouldn't trade any of it.
The scoring
one of my most
snafus.
treasured possessions is the Claybird I carry around in my truck
Yeah,
dash to this
Yep.
day, of when I cleaned the course with no mulligans to beat you in the final to win it all.
Yep.
That, I mean,
See, I don't even remember that. Whatever.
no.
Why are you bringing up old
texting
crap?
you pictures every day.
I think you just made that up. There you go, making stuff up. But no, so no, awesome point there about, kind of the competitions that we have. And it wasn't you and I this year, but you cleaned the course this year, the second fastest time, and lost. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
So that's kind of like the thrill of, so suck on that, man.
Yeah, man.
I think you just stopped thinking about that for a second, then you brought it back. So now weeks of therapy have to be revisited.
I'm okay.
That was epic. Yeah.
The guy from Archer's Edge, he was
Brandon.
He was shooting lights out.
Well, he works at a bow shop.
First few rounds, and we were like, I hope he gets tired. He's got to have an Achilles somewhere. What's it going to be?
How did he end up? I don't remember exactly how he finished.
He had
Did he make it to the Sweet 16?
He made it to the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
But there was I don't know what it was. I'm not going to speak for him, but everybody has this where you're just knocking them out. Then all of a sudden you have a round that just does not go the way you had planned. And it could have been the wind. It could have been that you went left side versus right side. Who knows what it was, but something gets into your head and
you're done.
out. But
you're done.
I thought for sure he was going to win that event.
So a couple years ago at Joe's event, we were doing the head-to-head, and I was just cruising through it. I was crushing everybody. It was a double elimination, and I got to the finals, and I hadn't lost yet. And the kid, his last name was Rabbit, or some Rabbit somehow was incorporated into his name. And I think, Chris, you were probably my spotter, and you're like, this dude has to beat you twice. He's not touching you. And when you told me that, I was like, I want to win this. And I just clenched up, and he kicked my ass for the next two matches, man. It wasn't even close. And just like you said, Chad, something switched right there. I got out of the flow state, and it just I couldn't get it back.
But the frustrating part about that was the only event he participated in, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he wasn't out there suffering through the rest of it.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's you're allowed to do that, right? You can show up, you can run just the 3D course, just the obstacle course, or whatever.
I did not allow people to do that at my event.
And
I had a lot of people ask me that. Like, can we come and just shoot the 3D? It's like, nope, you are not allowed on the property. If you're not doing all of it, then go find you a 3D tournament, because it's not fair to you guys who are out there gutting yourselves and climbing that mountain to have all that in your legs, and then to come out here and have some dudes that are fresh shooting the head-to-head against you. I don't think so. Not in Southern West Virginia. That ain't gonna roll. You do it all or nothing, son.
What about inviting people into the community? You're being exclusive there.
It's a good thing we're not using profanity on your podcast here, because I'd tell you exactly. We are creating a community, but we got standards. You ain't just going to roll in here and
we all suffer together.
Besmirch us. Yes, we do suffer together. And that was another thing I was proud of, man, is that everybody who signed up for this, except for one guy, everybody who signed up for it finished. And the one guy who didn't finish came up to me later with tears in his eyes. It's like, this is the only thing that I have never completed in my life. You tell me, you swear to me right now, you're having this thing next year, because I'm coming back. And he's having surgery next month on his knee, and he's coming back. He was 68 years old.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my word.
Just the physical, the bone on bone pain, going down turkey shoot is what got him. Yeah. Yep. So how was that crazy downhill? Was that awful? Was it okay? Was it?
Well, I didn't break anything.
Just part of
it. Yeah, I was like, he's got a New Mexico elk tag, and I don't. And so he
did you guys
zigzag,
run it?
and
Did
I'm
you
like,
run the downhill?
I ran it straight.
I figured you
toes
did. Yeah.
jammed up against my front of my sneakers, and I just could not catch him. My I was using my trekking poles to like save my life a couple times, but oh man, that was nuts. Just bombing down a ski slope without skis. That was crazy.
Yeah. I did a slalom on the really steep parts on that. Just just kind of like cutting back and forth just to avoid that like constant banging on your toes, your knees, and potentially twisting an ankle that way.
Well, both of your strategies paid off because I think didn't you guys finish like 1-2 in your division
1-2.
or 2-3? Yeah. And then Kenny was in there with you?
Kenny was 3. Yep.
Yeah. So here's something that, speaking of divisions, next year, I kind of want those older guys to have a chance of being on the podium. So what do you guys think about if we were to make it 45 and under, and then, 46 to 55, and then 55 and over? Instead of 50 and over, make it 55 and over.
Goat and I are going to beat the Young Bucks every day.
There you go. All right.
We don't care.
I like it.
It's nice to have a first place medal, but I finished
you're only going against like 45-year-olds. It's not like you're going against the kids. It's 45 to 55.
What were the age breakups this time? Was it 50 to 60?
It was 40 and under, or under 40, 40 to 49, and then 50 and over.
Yeah.
Right.
So the guys who were in their 60s didn't realistically have a chance. So I want to create something where they can, have a little bit of shot at glory too.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I mean, I'm 58. So
damn it. All right. So we got like 58 or 59 and over. All right, I got you.
Right.
You're 58. Wow, man. Hey, here's to you, brother. I want to be like Chad Bowser when I grow up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard, and that's like when given the option to choose my own bracket, which is one of the things you can do. Like you can say, hey, we have an open bracket, and then we have a senior bracket. Mm-hmm. Like I'll pick the open bracket because I want to be pushed by those guys, right? I know I'm not going to win.
I got you.
Yeah, they got youth and stupidity on their side, right? And I don't, right? I got responsibility.
Reckless abandon.
Yeah. Things that hurt the next day. But and that to me, that's a big thing for me, to be able to pick your competitors, like who you want to compete against.
I respect that.
I've done that before. But yeah, it is super hard to break that up evenly because you got guys, what it's like in the running world. You got some dude out there that's like 75 and just cleans your clock on 5K or 10K because
or guys like 58-year-old elk hunting badass is going to just like completely explode my idea that I've been working on for 2 weeks. So thanks, Bowser. As usual.
Start over. No, it's one of the really hard problems when you're organizing an event. How do you make it competitive? Like when you know who your competitors mostly are, but you might have another guy come in that you don't want to make it seem like it's an impossible feat, for him.
Yeah.
So, it's very, very difficult. I don't envy you on that. So good luck.
Yeah. I think that's why Phil up at Kika does there's so many classes up there. Right. Like I think he has 60.
But they also don't pay. They don't pay for $1,000 worth of prizes for every division either. So I got to keep it kind of tight. I can't have 7 different divisions because I'm
only
rewarding
3 guys in each one. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I did a good job of rewarding, our podium finishers made out pretty well. I forget what it was for you guys, but did you have Sitka or Kuyu or Stone Glacier? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, first you won so much crap you can't even remember.
Well, I tell you, I spent like the 2 hours before this podcast going, how am I gonna like get from all these places? Like it was so much fun. It was like Christmas shopping.
Dude, the Helio hoodies from Stone Glacier are top notch, man. If you guys haven't tried those out, I'd highly recommend them. That and the de Havilland pants are pretty solid.
I looked at those.
But
Yeah.
dude, all my Stone Glacier gear is just it's the first stuff I take off the pile. In fact, I got my M5 raincoats right there.
I was looking at those.
It's the best gear.
Those look nice too,
Yeah,
but I just
highly recommend it.
bought rain gear. So, but yeah, no, your prices were legit. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure we can do that every year going forward, but that's, we're a nonprofit and that plays right into my strengths, man. I am great at not making money.
Right.
So whatever money we generate, man, I fully intend to put it right back into beer and food and prizes, and until Jared like physically grabs me by the neck and tells me to stop. Because Jared, you guys met Jared, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great guy.
Oh yeah. Awesome dude, man. Big, lovable, big teddy bear, but with a really good business mind. And with a lot of the decisions that I made, he was just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to, lay it out for the first year to develop this word of mouth to kind of get this thing rolling a little bit. And then maybe next year we kind of, I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to gouge anybody, but $125 was dirt freaking cheap for what we offered.
Yeah, it was.
That was so cheap, man. So I think there's some space right there. I think we could go 140 maybe. What do you guys charge for?
We're at
what's your
150,
registration?
but what we've seen is now that we're going into year 3, like some of the sponsorships are stepping up. Like we're getting sponsors for
stepping
up.
Oh, okay, good.
500, like big gifts, and I mean we've got another sizable one that's very unique. So and Chad's just great with that. Like, just asking, and he'll hit all the vendors at TAC and get all kinds of stuff. So, as you get your name out there and people start to hear about you through back channels, you can get some opportunities for sponsorship, because I know Chad lost his butt the first year. Like we spent a lot of money. He spent a lot of money. Let me be clear, in case my wife ever watches one of these. But now it's starting to some unexpected revenue streams start to develop. So
okay, great. Well, I think that comes back to what you guys were saying earlier on in the podcast, like that energy that you project into the universe is going to come back to you. I know that you guys are doing this from a pure place in your heart, and so am I. I'm not trying to be a influencer. I'm not trying to make money. I'm trying to create, a community. That's all I'm trying to do. Well, if you really boil it down, and I think as long as that purity remains intact, we're going to be okay. And the support will be there.
It's definitely a not-for-profit.
Oh yeah,
it is. Like when you're on the outside, you're looking in, you think, oh, people just give up bows. They just give you stuff left and right. It's like, no, it's usually you're not getting better than sale prices on a lot of things that you have to buy. Every now and then somebody will come through in a pinch and offer up a bow or something really, really expensive. And but for the most part, like Montana Knives has been great with us. They consistently give us the most, I'll call it the most amount of like cash value, with no I'll call it no reserves, right? Just no catches. And it's like we can do nothing for you guys here, Montana Knives, but they step up for us. And Cafaro's been great. Obviously Big Truck contributes a lot of money and through the beer and through their course and just the rental of the facility, because that could make or break you. But getting Lancaster Archery does a great job with us with the clothing. Is the biggest area they can move with. But when you get an honest talk from a dealer, they don't have a lot of margin to work with. And the first year we did it, there was one of those years where all the bow dealers were willing to give you something, and in the second year it was like nothing, right? Nobody was giving you anything from a bow manufacturer. I don't know what happened. This year we haven't played around with any manufacturers yet to figure out what we're going to do. So hopefully up at TAC we'll make some connections with some guys up there and talk about some bows. But those are a huge cost. Like you don't we don't get those for free. So
yeah. No, I'm with you, man. Yeah, in fact, the sweetest deal that we got this year was from Archer's Edge, and they split dealer cost with us.
right.
So, they didn't give us a bow for dealer's cost; they gave it to us for half of dealer's cost.
Right.
Oh,
Which
wow.
I really appreciate. I mean, it's not a free bow. However, it was a very, very, very deep discount, and we were very happy to get
sale.
that.
Yeah, it's one last sale for them. So I mean, it's huge, and especially when you have like out of town people. I hit up some like, well, I asked like just Joe, right? I'm like, we would love for you to be our premier like archery shop sponsor, but he doesn't have like an online presence. And only 3 guys live near him. So it's like, it's no benefit for him, to do that. And so we always, whenever we approach a vendor, it's always with the concept of like, I love your products. How do I sell your products for you?
Yeah.
What can I do to get your name out? And many cases, again, there's nothing that little old Goat Rodeo can do, for them, but they're investing in the community.
Well, that's one of the things that, events like yours and mine, we're going to fight against all the time, because I'm never going to have 500 people at my event. I don't have the volunteer workforce, and I can't provide the type of experience that I want to provide to 500 people.
No.
I had a couple of bow shops in the southern West Virginia area tell me, "Oh man, you're messing up. If you were doing a 3D shoot, I could guarantee you 500 people." I don't care. I don't care. That is not the type of experience I'm trying to create.
Right.
And sponsors don't like that. They don't like to hear that you're only going to have 65 people at your event. In fact, early on when we were first, creating some buzz about this thing, I had some pretty big vendors reach out to me like, "Hey, are you accepting? Are you going to have vendor tents at your event?" I'm like, "Yes. However, you need to understand, I'm only going to have a maximum 100 people are going to see your stuff." Because I think they see Appalachian Bow Hunter Challenge, they think Total Archery Challenge. They kind of get the two confused in their head. And the last thing I'm going to do is mislead somebody. So,
like, we would love to put on a huge event, but at the same time, like, if you want to deliver a quality experience with a lot of community, how do you do that?
I don't know how you do it. You vastly increase your volunteer force. I don't know, man. And I have, for a lot of my adult life, I've been, employed, and, God bless capitalism. Capitalism is great. It creates a lot of good things. However, the relentless drive for, growth, and everything's got to be bigger, better, faster, more. I'm kind of over it. I'm not really interested in doing an event for 5,000 people. There aren't five. I had to run over every rock in 7 states to find 50 people to come and do this. I don't know how to get 5,000 people in here to do this thing. And honestly, I'm really not worried about it. You guys know what the Barkley Marathons is? You ever heard of that?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
What do they have?
I've
They have
never
like
been
20.
invited.
Well, me neither. Yeah, they have like 20 people that participate every year, and it's one of the most famous races in the world. So that's more of my business model. Maybe you charge like a $1.25 to enter, and then or your entry fee is like a new white shirt or
a new
pair
white
of socks
t-shirt
or something. Yeah. That's more my business model, more so than this. Continual growth. There's an economic term for that, which is escaping me right now. But
but when you have something so huge, you don't get to see the same people year after year. That's what makes these events so special. Those core groups,
exactly right, man.
That was the Messners, like the people that just show up year after year. That's what makes this special.
Yeah, the podcast from yesterday, the guy from North Carolina, this was his first event, but he said something exactly like that. He's like, "I felt like I was coming to more of a buddy reunion, more so than this weird event up in West Virginia where I didn't know anybody." So, and that's what I want to preserve, man. That's what I want to keep going. I want the feeling that we're all coming to a family reunion or a high school reunion or or something like that. And how do you do that with 1,000 people? I don't think you do.
can.
I don't think you do.
Yeah.
And Winter Place themselves said if you were doing 500 people, this would be a different conversation. You know, this, you know, with the time that they spent around me and Jared and the a little bit of time they spent with us on Friday, you know, the guy approached me, the owner and operator, and says, "Look, I'm kind of picking up your vibe. I'll see you Sunday. You guys are good. You know, here are the keys. You know, you're good to go." If this were like a concert, or if this were some other, you know, monster truck rally, we might have, you know, we might not be doing this next year. However, God bless you guys. We love what you did. Hope you come back next year. And that's what I want. That's why I'm not chasing profits. I'm not chasing, you know, maximum exposure on Facebook or any of that crap. I want to create an event like you guys created at Goat Rodeo. I want to create that in Southern West Virginia. And I think we did that.
Yeah. And I think if these events, if they can do, you know, for someone else, what you guys and these events have done for me. I mean, you know, I see so many guys my age that have just given up, you know, but that spark of running around, getting ribbed by you two, you know, getting inspired to go chase elk. I mean, I never dreamed about elk as a kid. Like, no one ever talked about it. There was one in my living room, oddly enough. But, you know, Dad didn't shoot it. It was just a piece of art. And the stories that you guys told me at events just like this, the friendship that we have, if we can offer that to some other people, I think we're doing good work.
And it doesn't have to be 1,000 people, man. If I can inspire one person, get off the couch in February. You've got an event in May. You got to be ready for this thing, or you've got something in June. There's a target on the calendar. Get up, man. Go do it. Then it's worth it. You know, it's worth it.
Yeah, we do the winter challenge. I don't know if we invited you to that, Stewie, but it's the first 2 weeks of February, and it's there's no prizes. Right, there's a
right up my alley. Yeah, awesome.
There's a shared spreadsheet that you just go in and you put your name down, and there's like I guess we're up to about maybe 15 challenges on there, and you just every time you do it, you know, increment your number, and it's just to get people thinking that, hey, it's wintertime, but spring is coming, and you know, hey, there's a bunch of guys out here. I mean, we do burpees in water.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, man. You were doing those burpees in your creek. Yeah. Thanks for not including me. I owe you one.
I mean, there's 5Ks, 10Ks, 20Ks that are in there. We had an ultra in there for a guy I work with. He loves to run these stupid 200-300 mile races. So we had to put a column in for him. You know, like, hey, if you did a 200 miler this month, you can check that off. But you know, it's that creating a community in the middle of the winter time that know that there are other people out there just like you that don't want to sit down and quit. You know, they're man. I need to be pushing myself constantly.
Yeah, and the winter is a great metaphor for the season of our lives that, you know, you gray bearded guys are in. You know, and winter can be very isolating, man. It can be cold and lonely. And anything that you can do to break that isolation during the winter, you know, literally and metaphorically, it's important. It's important.
Absolutely.
I think it was interesting. I'm not named. I'll say this without just saying somebody's name. You know, there's an influencer guy that really struggled after failing a race. You know, like he just didn't expect the DNF, and it was a hard hit for him. And I listened to his first interview afterwards, and I'm like, he's at that point where he could choose. I don't think he will, but he could choose to just say, I'm done. Like, I'm too broken at this point to continue. Right? I just need to slow it down. I need to take it easy. I need to back off. And as we age, it's really hard to figure out how much is too much, because the world will be telling you, oh, you need to stop doing sit-ups. You need to stop, you know, doing certain exercises because your body's not going to be able to take it. And you're like, well, if my body's still taking it, why should I stop doing that? Maybe that's the thing that makes my body break, is when I stop doing the thing.
Word. You know? Yep.
And I would say it's really uncharted territory for us because, you know, prior to us, you hit 50, 55 and you were done.
Yeah.
Right.
And even personally, man, like this is the oldest I've ever been today. I've never been this old before. So it's kind of weird.
And you're doing it well.
Thank you. So I look up to like my elders, like you guys here, to kind of, you know, blaze the trail. But no, I mean, I say that in jest, but I mean it too, man. I'm still flabbergasted that you're 58, Chad, and still crushing, you know, these competitions, man. So here's to you, brother. You lead the way, man. I'll keep following you.
Maybe. Well, see, you get the benefit of being a few years behind, so you can watch it when I like just completely implode.
Oh yeah, when you go left, I'll swing right. Yeah,
no, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
That last
in general, that's the direction. Yeah. So no, man. Here's to us for, you know, being old and still getting after it.
Yeah, man.
I'm sorry that I sidetracked you, man. You're about to make a great point about how society doesn't really appreciate us being, you know, still doing stuff at this age.
Well, kind of like we talked about earlier, when somebody is falling into isolation, we want to give them an excuse, right? And kind of like be sympathetic, and you provide all these tools for them. You're laying a whole bunch of things at their feet, and you're going, "Oh, here, this will make you better." And reality is, you got to stand up, right? You got to like take the step, right? Take those initiating steps.
Yeah.
And same thing when you get older. It's like, well, what do you mean you're not on any medications? Like, you're not taking anything? Yeah, no, because the stuff that you give me, like I'll take something to get over a hurdle, like a broken rib or something, but I don't want to be on, you know, your thing forever, especially when you read the side effects of that crap. Like, how do I know that's not what's making me bad, right? And but just that, you know, refusing to accept that getting old is retirement, right? Like, retirement was never really kind of any kind of concept until, you know, what, 1940s, 50s, something like that.
Yeah.
Having gotten to my age and watching people that retire that die shortly afterwards, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, what is success? You know, because like when we talk to somebody who has a ton of money, usually they're not like very happy.
Yeah.
Right? And when we obviously, you know, there's a level of comfort when you don't have to worry about your next meal, right? Or whether or not you're going to be able to pay your rent and your heating bill. That's a huge relief right there.
Yeah.
But like what I find success is, like, I know that if I was in West Virginia tonight and I knocked on your door, that you would invite me in, right? And I'd have a place to sleep that night. And then we could talk stupid stories, and in the morning you'd, you know, kick me out and wish me good luck with $20. Right?
Yeah.
But like, I mean, that is success.
Yeah,
right?
That's a real possession, man. A real possession.
Right.
And success. Sorry.
You know, I had a debate with a guy. It wasn't much of a debate. It's like just 2 or 3 sentences. But my point to him was time is the most valuable gift you can give somebody. Right? He's like, no, time is all mine. I control it. And, you know, it's all for me. I'm like, this is the biggest gift you can give somebody. You know? And so, like, if you have people that you can give time to and they love it and they love you for it, man, you're the most successful person in the world.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to build, right? It's just that.
Beautiful, man. No, you beautifully encapsulated what we're trying to do. Yeah. Giving time to people that appreciate it and you're going to cherish it.
Right. Yeah. It's that's like, I think the biggest thing as I get older, just watching and witnessing how other people's lives end, you know, and like, my mother-in-law was 87 when she died, and it was kind of quick. And like the church was packed. Like there were people standing around the sides of the church, right? 87-year-old lady. And the thing was, like, and she would say things to you, like, to your face, like, you know, she would tell you exactly what you were doing wrong. But you knew that she loved you.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Like, you could show up at her house any point in time. She would sit you down, make you something to eat, take care. She knew everybody, right? She went to the sporting events. She just knew everybody. And you see somebody that passes that way, and you go, she's a farmer's wife. You know, never held political office, you know, wasn't rich.
Still,
drove a broke ass car, like
wealthy,
this person was the most wealthy person to hit the grave that I've known.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I see other people that work until they're 80 just so they can keep socking money into the stock market. And then they fade away. And and nobody shows up at their funeral because nobody remembers who they were.
Yeah.
And their kids fight over the money. So I'm like, it's clear to me that success, has nothing to do with finances. Right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we're trying to build it. If you build it, they will come. But I don't.
You were doing great. You were doing great until you dipped into the Kevin Costner cliches.
What's wrong with Kevin Costner, man? Dancing with Wolves.
That was Field of Dreams. Field of Dreams, the name of
that?
Yeah, you build it, then comes Field of Dreams.
I don't know.
Yeah, dumb movie, but it's about baseball and stuff. It's kind of like, what?
Yeah. No, well put, my friend. Well put, man. I agree with everything you said. Yeah, and
I remember last year we tried to engage a couple local, I'll call them local influencers, guys that had like pretty successful podcasts and stuff, and just thought, if you guys came out to this, right? Like if you guys advertised it, if you just saw this once, right? We could do 2 or 3 of these a year or something like that. And then, you're kind of frustrated when they don't return your phone calls. They don't, even want to talk to you. And then, but later on, you realize the gift that was. I do think that if one of the local pro archers, came out with their kids, they would have a blast and it would be great for them and their kids. But it would probably suck for the rest of us, right?
Yeah.
Because of the attention it would get. You're like, all right, well, great. Now I got all these wannabe people that show up. We don't want somebody who wants to be somebody else or check the list. We want people who want to
be themselves.
Be part of
be the best version of themselves.
In fact, in part of my conversations today with Hamid, we were trying to figure out how to generate more female interest. And he had mentioned, there are some female, influencers. And I was like, whoa, time out. I'm not trying to dip my toe into that, puddle right there. I'm not trying to bring in people. Not that being an influencer is necessarily a bad thing, but like you said, Chad, I don't want to create the negative attention or the wrong attention for the rest of the people who are trying to experience this. So, if we get more females, that's great. If not, then Elisa Mester can just keep winning first place.
Right. Yeah, we actually talked to a lady. She works for Montana Knife, and we're hoping to get her on a podcast soon. She was in Patagonia recently.
Wow.
But she ran a couple events out in Idaho that invite women to come in. And actually had a really good email conversation with her last year. And I said to her, like, we try so hard to, bring women into this. Like, we want them to be part of our community. They're like, we're going to, it's protective. We're going to protect them, encourage them. They have their own little world over here. And she was, was very nicely explaining to me that women do not want to compete. There are
Bingo.
The Janets.
Yeah.
There's the Janets, the Beckys, the Elisas.
Not many.
Who will come out and do it. But the rest of them they just want to have an experience together. Right.
Yeah. How do we communicate, though? That is exactly what we're doing. That's exactly what we're creating.
So I think you would have to, what we have to do with our events is there's a competitive piece over here. Like, whoever wants to sign up for the competitive piece, you go do that.
Okay.
But over here is the experience piece. Right.
Yeah. And you guys kind of do that with Goat Rodeo a little bit.
The team challenge.
But it's not, Friday night we do. But just to take a weekend, and if you had your homesteader crew come in that showed, hey, here's how you tan a hide, right? Here's how you build a fire. Here's how you build a shelter. But they do that as a community the entire weekend, right?
I'm not sure that, and I see what you're saying there, but I'm not sure that this is the vehicle for that.
It's not, but we try.
Okay.
And that was her point. You guys are trying to do something or include women in an event that they do not want to be included in. So stop it.
Gotcha.
And I hate to tell you this, Stewie, you're a man. And yeah, the jury's been out. No
validation.
But like, so you can't put on a women's event, right? It's like you're just not. You have their own chromosomes.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like if a woman shows up at our event, we love it. Come on in. We're going to make you feel as protected and included as we can. But we understand you're probably not going to have anybody to compete against you, unless you bring a friend.
Yeah. So we really ran into that this year. It was eye-opening to me to run into exactly what you're saying. Women just had no interest whatsoever.
Yep.
No. And don't take it personally. It's just, that's just, we're just trying to do the wrong thing, for the wrong group. But, no, it was, this whole experience, like, of putting on events has been eye-opening in so many levels, right? You're so used to showing up at an event, just getting out of your car, sticking on your bib and going for a run or doing a thing. And then come to this side for a little while.
Yes.
And when you go to your next event that you participate in, you'll love it.
There is no better way to learn a subject than to teach it. And and I feel like that's what we all do now. Like we kind of studied, competitions, and we kind of, figured out how to compete and how to really do well in these things. And then we turned it up a notch. It's okay, now we will be the teachers. And it is I found it to be very mentally draining, physically draining, but yet rewarding. And the rewarding part hasn't really completely set in yet. Today was great. Today was great being at Archer's Edge with Hamid, with our champion, and kind of, hearing him kind of reflect back on the event, and then, talking with you guys and hearing your reflections on the event. So the afterglow is starting to settle in a little bit, and I'm trying to enjoy it, So, and I would imagine this is the way that you guys have felt over the past few years after your events. I mean, hell, you've done this 3 times. This is your 3rd one coming up, but there's 2 of you too. So you guys both can kind of bounce ideas off each other. I've competed in a lot more of these than Jared has, so I don't really have that. Hey, remember that time in Denver when we did this? I don't really have that. I can't do that with Jared, but yet he's got he runs a $1 million business, and he has attorneys on retainer, and he set up our LLC and insurance and all that stuff. So I think Jared and I make a really good team. We're bringing different strengths to the table.
Well, you're months ahead of us, because I think after our first event, the answer was no. We're not doing it
ever again. Yeah.
Oh, it was 105. It was exhausting.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it was 5 or 6 months before we were like, well, maybe.
Yeah.
So what led you? Why did you pick June? What do you like about June? That weekend in June?
Oh, we wanted to get away from Bill's event,
right?
Because they were stacked.
They're always in August. Yeah, Bill's always August.
Yeah, and Joe was always in July.
Yeah.
And so the first year we did it, we were, I think, 1 week after Joe and 2 weeks before Bill. Or Bill, or the other way around, like 2 weeks after Joe, 1 week before Bill.
Yeah.
And we're like, those guys, they work hard to put on their events, and we don't want to. Again, there's this really small niche of people, so we don't want to steal from them.
Exactly.
So we moved it up into June. So you have these different options: June, July, August. Now yours is May, June, July, August. Ultimately, hopefully, someday we'll get to the point where we can have like a September Grand National Championship or something.
Man, that's elk season though, buddy.
I know it is.
September's getting close.
I mean, if you're winning the competitions, you should be out elk hunting. So we'll just do it. 10,000
scrubs. Oh yeah, there you go. So we'll kind of segue into elk season. You boys going this year or what?
Yeah. Are you going rodeo?
Oh man, this is I'm opening.
Is this not decided yet? Not decided. So what's going on here?
I've decided that I've got to sit this season out. I'm opening a school to 500 children that are counting on me to be present. So, and my new assistant principal is brand new to the district, so I'm not going to leave her 2 weeks in.
No, you're making the right call, man. Right call.
Yeah.
I was actually, I had the opportunity to go to Africa last summer. Then we went out to Idaho for elk, and then I was lucky enough to get an over-the-counter deer tag for Arizona.
Wow.
So I went out there in January. So I was really thinking that, you know what, I'm gonna accumulate points in like Montana, Colorado, Wyoming, and I'll do the thing. I'll put in for Pennsylvania, New Mexico. I never get those, so I'll put in for those. And I was really going to go out and just mule deer hunting in Arizona this year, and lo and behold, I drew a New Mexico tag. So
whoa,
right, yeah. So
wait, New Mexico deer or New Mexico elk?
New Mexico elk, 15 to 24, right? So the peak of the rut.
Crap.
Unit 13. Yeah. So, you know, I'm not embarrassed to say it. So we're doing that thing where we're looking to see, do we need an outfitter? Can we do this on our own? Because I think Rio's going to go with me. Corey's going to go with me. So I'm like, you got 9 days, right? So I'm starting to make all the phone calls to people that I know.
Oh man, what an exciting time to be alive!
Yeah, like
congratulations, man.
Any clues? So yeah, it's going to be I think one of the better hunts of my life out there.
Buddy. So, I'm happy for you.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. If you want to go. You know,
well, I drew my Wyoming tag, so
right.
I'll be in Wyoming
this year.
Yes, yeah, awesome. I had 6 points and cashed them in, and I'll be up in the Bridger Teton Wilderness, wading through the grizzly bears.
Yeah, you got your 10 mil.
I do, man. In fact, before I came on the podcast, all my grizzly bear ammunition is on the porch, so I need to go sort through that and see if it's the right stuff.
We can compare notes. I'll tell you the testing I did, and you tell me how stupid it was or not. But
well, no, I'd love to hear it at some point.
Yeah. So that's elk season, and so we got to tell this story. So on Sunday, this past Tuesday was my birthday, right? And Rodeo gives me a call and he says,
I saw some video. Keep going.
Right? So he says, hey, what are you doing on Sunday? I'm going to spend a day with you. You're going to need your bow, some binos, long pants, high top sneakers, maybe a sweatshirt, you know, and your journal. And I'm like, journal? I'm like, I don't know what we're doing, but okay. So anyway, the man, we meet at church, and he goes, hey, we're going to go skydiving today. So yeah, it was years ago. We were probably driving out west somewhere. I told him, I said, I always wanted to go skydiving, but I'm scared to death of it. So what I need is just somebody to drive me up to an airport and drop me off and say, we're doing this today.
There you go. Be careful what you wish for.
That's what this poor man had to do, because he had to think about it then for weeks and weeks about what was going to happen on that Sunday. So,
oh, jeez.
Yeah.
No, but
how was it? Was it intense? Was it horrible? Was it okay?
How would you rate that on a horrible scale, Rodeo? Or the good scale?
Everything except so I get car sick. So like when we started like swinging in to get into the airport, I don't do well with that. So I hit the ground, but I paid for the camera package for him. So they're like videoing him and they're like, hey, wave to the camera. And I just want to throw up everywhere. But I'm like, if I throw up in this man's background, that is what is going to get posted over and over for the rest of my life.
Though.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But no, I mean, it was phenomenal. Just the discipline of I'm going out that plane. You know, and it's just like I'm going up that mountain, you know?
Yeah.
HTFU. JTFO. So that was awesome. But you jump out of the plane, and what you don't realize is you hit about 140 miles an hour. And we're in t-shirts and pants. Like, we didn't have like jumpsuits or helmets. They gave us these $2 plastic glasses. And you're going 140 toward the earth. I was like, this is friggin' awesome, you know? And then the chute goes up and everything goes quiet. I mean, it is amazing. So, but yeah, I did not like I did not like the swinging.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. It was I called it the surprise of violence, or violent surprise. Like when you come out of the plane, it's like on a roller coaster, you kind of like, you crest over and then you gradually get into it. Here, you accelerate at the speed of gravity.
Yeah.
And you're strapped to two guys. You got 300 pounds dropping,
It's significant.
So you pass the terminal velocity of a normal human being, and you keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your brain is like, I should not be going this fast.
Right. And everybody else that jumped out of the airplane had helmets, not us, of course. We're just, they don't care. They don't care if we hit a bird or a bug or whatever. But, so yes, we're floating around and we're, kind of spinning and stuff. The cameraman comes in, we do a fist bump, and then he backs away and pulls his chute, or we pull our chute.
Okay.
And at that moment, I'm looking at him in the eyes, and all of a sudden we go to 35 miles an hour and he goes away at 120, and you realize like how fast you were falling.
That's how fast we were going. Wow.
Right, because you're up 13,000 feet, right? So you're a little over 2 miles up, and so you drop over a mile in a minute, right? So I mean, it is, but you know what? 100% everybody should do that at least once, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the people were great. We just had a great time. But so then Tuesday morning when I wake up, my wife comes out to me. She goes, "Happy birthday," and she hands me airplane tickets to Alaska. So it's the last state that I have to visit. I've been to 49 states. I got to get that 50th one in. So in a couple weeks we head to Alaska. I'm gonna do some fly fishing, and some hiking and stuff. So
heck yeah,
it's just been a year. I have
heck of a year, yeah.
I have like 1 weekend free between the end of now and July. Then we have about 4 weeks, and then work kicks back in, and then elk hunting. So it's gonna be a crazy year.
Awesome. Yeah. Hey,
hopefully there'll be another
elk
head hanging on the wall. I think I have one. Like that guy is my Montana guy. Sorry. He was grizzly bears and wolves.
Yeah.
I don't recommend hunting around those suckers. That's where I started practicing with the 10 mil.
So hopefully I get to see some grizzly bears and wolves from a safe distance. But,
right.
I don't know how you guys are at handguns, but I'm glad I've got 15 rounds in that magazine, because I'm not a great shot. I'm not a great shot. It is a different, I'm used to, shooting my bow, and it's more of a, you settle in, you execute your shot process. Not with a handgun. It's just make it rain, baby.
Good grip and start squeezing.
Get that grip. And
when I bought mine, my 10 mil a couple years ago, I think it was Glock was the only one that had like a double stack at the time.
Okay.
And there were a lot of guys who were like, well, I'm only taking like 7 or 8 rounds because of the weight. And I'm like, I'm putting every freaking round in there.
They don't weigh that much.
And I would appreciate if you would do the same for me. You might not be shooting a bear that's charging you. He might be charging me.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. I asked the outfitter, like, do you allow, your clients to carry sidearms? He's like, allow? Hell, we require it.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
that guy's in there. Outfitters, they want to clean your elk for you and cut it up and stuff. They want to do that for you. So they want you to be watching their back while they're doing it. And so I'm anxious to hear how that works for you, because I got about the same amount of points for Wyoming, and I need to burn those.
Yeah, I'll give you a full review. I'm going with Constant Quest Outfitters. It's I'm not big into guided hunts, but however, if you're going to hunt the wilderness area in Wyoming,
you have to.
Wyoming requires you to, you got to have an outfitter. Right. So I don't know what's different. What's the difference between the Wyoming wilderness and the Colorado wilderness? Because they're right there together.
Yeah.
But
it's Wyoming been debated in court many times.
Well, apparently the outfitter lobby keeps winning.
That's one way to word it. Yes. The legal opinion states it differently, but the reality is yes. The outfitters win.
All
right. Man, we really appreciate your time. The conversation went all over the place, but we were so happy with the way your event turned out for you.
Yes.
Just so glad, and we wanted to talk to you a little bit about it. I hope we can do the same thing for you and give you just a great weekend when you come up in June.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Thank
I'm
you
looking
so
forward
much for
to it.
putting it on.
And, well, I mean, big shout out to the entire Goat Rodeo community that you guys have established. You guys came down in force. You dominated my little hill, which you said you were going to do. So yeah, you cleaned up afterwards. I can't imagine. I couldn't have scripted it any better, and you guys were a big part of that. So thank you very much, and I'm in your debt, and I'll try to pay you back at every opportunity I get.
You can bring your champion with you up in June.
He's not coming, man. I know. I try. He told me to extend his condolences, but he's got a 1-year-old and a wife who doesn't quite get all this crazy stuff that we do. So
no, we get it.
Well, we need volunteers.
Yeah.
So.
that too.
1-year-old can do something, I'm sure. hold down a tent canopy or something.
Yeah, hold these papers down. Yeah. But no, guys, looking forward to it. I started training again. I took a big break for the event, so I'm coming ready. Tell Gary and Lucas I'm gunning for those cats.
Let's go. All right, see you in June.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Love you guys.
See ya.
Thank you.
Bye.